Hi, good evening, everyone. Many thanks for joining in time. I am Vivek Prakash, and I welcome you all to this webinar. As you already know, today's topic is unscheduled, which is an extension of value management and adds valuable measurement to EVM specific to the schedule. How we are going to conduct this webinar? By default, all participants are muted. This is to keep the voice quality better. To ask question, please use the question panel. The speaker will take the question at the end of the session. In case if questions are more and we run out of time, we will send response of all the questions in an email to all the participants. Today's speaker is Mr. Tejas Sura. He is one of the founder member of PMI Mumbai chapter. And this is how I know him. We have worked together to grow Mumbai chapter for many years. He was president of PMI Mumbai chapter, and Mumbai chapter received Best Chapter of the Year awards for 2 years in succession under his leadership. He is currently the mentor of Region 11, that is the Western Asia region of PMI, providing leadership to chapters in this area. Away from PMI, he is MS in Civil Engineering from University of Texas, and he is joint managing director of Connart Engineers, which provide project management services in construction industry. Okay, I welcome Tejas to webinar and hand over mic to him. Tejas, you are most welcome, and I just transfer this presentation right to you.
Thanks, Vivek. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. So today's topic is on schedule, and I will slowly take you through first the limitations of earned value, and then go on to earned schedule and how the limitations of earned value have been taken care of in the earned schedule concept. So while EVM, like I told you, has very significant achievements like cost performance, the same achievement actually has not extended to the earned value to the schedule performance. So what's the problem with earned value? The problem with earned value is that it shows the schedule performance in terms of cost. Normally, the EVM metrics for the schedule, they show pretty good indications and pretty good forecast in the first 2/3 of the project. But during the last 1/3 of the project, these trends start showing, forecast which are not true in nature. So therefore, it shows forecast which really predict the wrong finish date. Normally, a project manager would like to hear the schedule performance in terms of time and not in terms of cost. Project managers normally don't understand schedule performance in terms of cost. They want to relate it to time. So all these limitations of earned value are taken care of by the earned schedule concept. The problem in the last 1/3 of the project is that the schedule performance index ends up at 1 at end of the project, in spite of the schedule either being late in nature, which is not possible. Actually, it should be showing a schedule performance index of less than 1 because the project is late. Similarly, the schedule variance ends up at a 0 variance at the end of the project, regardless of whether the project is delayed. Again, which is not true, because the schedule variance should show negative if the project is delayed. Therefore, there is an anomaly in the indicators shown by the earned value concept towards the last 1/3 of the project. So let's see what happens to the EVM schedule indicators in the traditional earned value method. Schedule variance is earned value minus planned value. When the project completes, regardless of its delay time, earned value is equal to planned value at the end of the project. Therefore, SV is EV minus PV, and it is always equal to 0. Similarly, schedule performance index project. So schedule performance index but which is not true because the project is actually delayed. So therefore, these two indicators do not show the correct picture towards the end of the project. If you see the same thing graphically, this is how it looks. The cost variance towards the end of the project shows the variance, but if you see the red one, which is the schedule variance, it tends towards 0 towards the last 1/3 of the project. Similarly, if we look at the performance indices, the cost performance index, which is in blue, shows an underperformance towards the end of the project, but the schedule performance index becomes 1 at the end of the project, which is not true for a delayed project. So do we have any key for this? The solution was developed by Mr. Walt Lipke. This was through an article which is Schedule is Different, which he presented the earned schedule concept at PMI Sydney chapter, Australia. It's an extension to the earned value methodology. It's a time-based measurement, so a project manager can easily relate to the time measures. Now let me explain the earned schedule concept in detail. The line in red is the planned value curve, which is the S curve, which is budgeted cost of work schedule. It's a planned value curve, the red color. The blue color curve is actually the earned value curve, which is budgeted cost of work performed. Now at a given date, which is say end of July in this case, is the date on which the performance is being measured. Now we take the point at the end of the earned value curve and we project it horizontally on the planned value curve. The point where it hits the planned value curve, you bring it down on the time axis. So again, vertically projected that point on the time axis, so which shows a period of middle of June. Now the difference between from middle of June to end of July is the delay in the project. This is called the earned schedule concept basically. So earned schedule is basically all of May, which is the the full month intervals go up to end of May, then you have a partial interval which goes to middle of June. So that is a portion of June. So if you see the formula here in the box, unscheduled is equal to all of May plus portion of June. So unscheduled is all of May means 5 months from the beginning of the year. So that is 5 plus the formula which is based on pure arithmetic.
Tejas? Tejas, we are not able to hear you. Let me check. Is it dropped off or what was happening?
Into bracket dollars.
Yeah, hi Tejas.
Yeah.
For some time we are not able to hear you. So if you have said something, you need to repeat it then.
Oh, okay. On this particular slide.
When you were saying the difference between this, I think we were with you. After that,
Okay.
nobody was able to hear you. You were talking
Now can
about
you hear
this
me?
formula. You were talking about this
Okay.
formula. This ES is equal to 5 plus, and then after that we couldn't hear you.
Okay. I'll again repeat regarding the formula,
Right.
which is in the box on the right hand side.
Correct.
This is earned schedule is equal to all of May plus a portion of June, because as you see the projection of the point on the planned value curve where it goes down vertically and hits the x-axis on the time axis is basically somewhere in middle of June. So therefore earned schedule is all of May plus a portion of June. So if you see the box on the right hand side, that shows this formula. So earned schedule is all of May means January to May, which is 5 months. So that is where the number 5 comes, plus the portion of June is given by a simple arithmetic formula, which is BCWP in dollars minus BCWS of May divided by BCWS in June minus BCWS in May. So this is a simple arithmetic formula which is used to derive that small portion in June. Now the actual time 80 is 7, that is the time that is we are measuring the performance at the end of the 7th month, at the end of July. So 80, which is actual time, is 7. Now the schedule variance in terms of earned value can be given by SV into bracket dollar, which is in the center topmost box. That is given by the earned value formula, which is BCWP minus BCWS, okay, which is actually earned value minus the planned value. Okay, now the earned schedule concept is given by SV into bracket small t. The small t indicates that it is the earned schedule concept. This is equal to the earned schedule minus actual time. The earned schedule has been arrived at by the formula given in the large box on the right hand side of this slide, minus the actual time, which is 7. So it would be somewhere 5.5 minus 7, which is minus 1.5, which means the project is delayed by 1.5 months. Similarly, if we go to the indices formula, in terms of earned value, again SPI into bracket dollar is equal to earned value divided by planned value, which is the normal earned values formula. But if we want in terms of earned schedule, then SPI into bracket T, and the bracket T indicates that it is earned schedule formula, is equal to earned schedule minus divided by the actual time. So it would be, in this case, 5.5 months divided by 7, which would be less than 1. Therefore, the schedule is underperforming. I hope everybody has understood this this particular slide, which I have explained in detail, because this forms the basic concept of the earned schedule. So if you think back, what are the measures required to arrive at the earned schedule metrics? The measures required are the performance management baseline, which is given by the time phase planned values, which is PV from project start to project completion. That is the PV S curve. Then you need the earned value at the time when you are measuring the progress. The third thing that you require is the actual time, which is the time at which you are measuring the progress. That is from the project beginning to the date on which you are measuring the progress. So actually all the measures which we are talking about are available from our earned value concept. Therefore, you do not need to measure anything more to arrive at the earned schedule metrics. The earned schedule metrics can be arrived at by measuring the same parameters as the earned value. Now, earned schedule cumulative is the number of completed PV time increments earned value exceeds plus the fraction of the incomplete planned value increment. That is what I was talking about in the earlier figure. The number of completed was the starting to May end, which is five periods, 5 months, and the fraction was the fraction portion of the month of June. So this is basically stating the same thing. Now ES cumulative is equal to C plus I. This is basically a shorter way of putting that same formula. AT cumulative is of course the actual time from the beginning to the date on which we are measuring the progress. Now the earned schedule indicators, as I earlier explained to you, are the schedule variance and the schedule performance index into bracket T, which again is the ES cumulative minus the AT cumulative is the variance, and the ES cumulative divided by the AT cumulative is the index. It's very similar to the earned value concept. Now what happens to the ES indicators, SVT and SPIT, when the planned project duration PD is exceeded, that is the project is basically delayed? The fact is that they still work correctly. ES will be less than equal to the planned duration, while AT is greater than PD. Therefore, SVT will be negative, that is time behind schedule, and SPIT will be less than 1. So you will get reliable values right from start to finish, unlike the earned value concept. Therefore, earned schedule gives you correct forecast and correct indicators right up to the end of the project, even during the last 1/3 of the project. Now, the earned schedule predictors, can the project be completed as planned? So
There is one question is there.
Yeah.
What is the small t represent in the previous slide?
the small t means that if we have into bracket dollars, then it means we are talking about earned value. If we have into bracket small t, means we are talking about earned schedule.
Okay.
Okay. It basically goes back to this slide. You have 4 boxes at the top side of the slide. Okay, the dollar is the standard earned value concept formula, and the T is the earned schedule formula. Okay, so that is the difference between SPI dollar and SPI T, and SV dollar and SVT. T means earned schedule, dollar means earned value concept.
Okay, okay, good.
Now in this graph, if this blue line, if the project is delayed and this blue line goes beyond the red line, then still you can project on the red line, bring down the projection, and still you get a delay as far as the earned schedule is concerned. So it is still a reliable indicator. That's what I was trying to tell in the last slide. Okay, now these are the earned schedule predictors. This is to complete SPI, which means that what is the schedule performance index required from now to the completion of the project. That is TSPI, which means to complete schedule performance index. To complete schedule performance index would definitely be indicated by how much is the plan remaining, how much of the work is remaining, divided by how much time is remaining. Okay, so which is plan duration minus on schedule divided by plan duration minus actual time, because plan duration on schedule means the planned amount of work, planned amount of time required to do the balance work, and plan duration minus actual time means the actual remaining time period available to you to complete that work. So therefore PD minus ES is basically the planned duration for work remaining, and PD minus AT is the actual time which is remaining. Okay, it has been based on the experience, it has been said that obviously if TSPI values are less than equal to 1, it will obviously be achievable because you have more time at hand or equal time at hand as compared to what you have planned. But if the TSPI value is greater than 1.1, then it has been seen that it is not achievable. That is, the project will not be completed on time. It will definitely be delayed, and this is based on past experience statistics. So basically, it has been a long time desire for EVM practitioners that prediction of total project duration from EVM data should be possible, and this basically has been satisfied by the earned schedule concept. Now, the next one is independent estimate at completion. This is the planned duration divided by the SPI based on the earned schedule concept. So this is this basically indicates the amount of time that will be required to complete the overall project. Another way of putting it is the actual time till date plus PD minus ES divided by PFT, which is PFT indicates the performance factor, what you would expect for the remaining portion of the project. Again, PFT would be based on expert judgment. This is basically analogous to IEAC used to predict the final cost. This is very similar to what we use for the earned value concept for the cost aspect of it. So independent estimated completion date IECD is equal to start date plus IEACT. Okay. That is basically the completion date is equal to the start date plus the prediction of the total duration of the project based on the performance till date. So these are the key points for earn schedule. Earn schedule indicators constructed to behave in an analogous manner to the EVM cost indicators, which are cost variance and cost performance index. SVT and SPIT, they are not constrained by the PV calculation reference. They provide duration-based measures of schedule performance. They are valid for the entire project, including early and late finish. This facilitates integrated cost schedule management using EVM with ES. So EVM can be used for the cost parameters and ES on schedule can be used for the time parameters. And this integrated cost schedule management concept would lead to a very practically true predictors and indicators and forecasters. So this is basically another way of showing it. The schedule variance in terms of dollar was shown by the difference between the BCWS curve and the unscheduled, earned value at a given date, which is shown by the vertical bracket. Okay. In place of that, now what we are doing is we are projecting the endpoint of the earned value onto the BCWS curve, that is taking it horizontally on the left, okay, and then bringing it further down, that is projecting it further down on the time axis curve, and therefore that is what the schedule variance is, as shown by the SVT below. So this is basically, this diagram actually shows the difference between the schedule variance as shown by the earned value concept and schedule variance as shown by the earned schedule concept. I think this diagram is very clearly showing what the difference is between the two. So the earned schedule metrics relate to work performed to actual time, not work schedule, and they retain utility over time, only return to 0 or 1 where on time completion is achieved. Otherwise they will show the true variance or the true index on the performance. Now I have already explained to you the basics concept involved in the unscheduled methodology. I would like to show you an actual case study where I have utilized the unscheduled concept on a USFDA pharmaceutical project that our company had done. Basically, it was a construction project. I don't know how many of you all are involved in construction, but still going through this case study would actually show you how these indicators are working on a real project. So normally, a construction project would include the bill of quantities, that is BOQ, that is the quantity of work for every activity on the project. It includes the project schedule. Then there are some architectural drawings of the project. We have some rate analysis done for every activity on the project to find out the earned value for every item. Then the actual performance of the project or the actual cost is arrived at by the running account bill. That is, every month a bill is put up, and the actual cost is found out by the bills, and also it shows the earned value of the items which have been activities which have been executed. So basically, the methodology is the project schedule is prepared. That is, we have a work breakdown structure and activity list. Then there is a duration estimation considering the resources that have to be deployed on the project. All this is just as per the PMWAS methodology. Then we have the activity sequencing and schedule development for the project, and we normally use Microsoft Project for this. The pre-executed baseline start date was 7th August, and finish date was 15 February. At the initial stage, details were not available from the consultants, and hence the start date and the finish dates were revised to 30th August and 23rd March. So basically, this is how the tracking was done, and this shows the schedule variance in terms of cost. That is, this is the earned value concept basically. So this is how it was going, the trend. So on 5th December, for example, the schedule variance was 2568, 25,68,007 or so, and schedule was lacking by almost 42%. The schedule performance index is shown by this trend actually. SPI is greater than 1, which means efficiently using time. SPI on 5th December is actually 0.55, which is again showing that the project is delayed by 42.66%. Similarly, this is as per the earned value. The cost variance performance is shown by this curve. A positive CV task is currently under budget. Cost variance positive. 5th December cost variance was actually 7,33,000. So the cost is under budget and cost saving is 24%. How efficiently are we using our resources? So this is again in place of variance, we have an indicator showing the CPI, that is cost performance index. An index of less than 1 obviously indicates that we are over budget. Here the CPI is 1.01. So we are almost under control. We are under budget and using our resources efficiently. Actually, not even under budget, it's almost close to on budget. How efficiently must we use our remaining resources? Well, this is to complete CPI. That is the CPI required for the balance portion of the project. To complete performance index TCPI greater than 1 needs for increased performance to stay within budget. On 5th December, as you can see, the TCPI is 0.95 and no increased performance of work to complete remaining work with remaining budget, because it is 0.95, which means that we have the project under control. If it was 1, it would show that we are going as per the plan. And if it was greater than 1, it would show that we require to perform much better than what we have planned for. This is estimate at completion. So initially there are actually 2 formulas for EAC1. Since I have not gone in the earned value concept, I have not explained the 2 formulas for you, but this is basically the 2 ways of arriving at the estimate at completion. Estimate at completion on 31st January is basically 1,77 lakhs. It means that if we continued current performance, project will cost us that much and will cross the budget amount. Similarly, this is variance at completion. So on 15 January, variance at completion was 1,89,000. So it means that if current performance is continued on the project, will be finished with available budget. What will the remaining work cost? So this is basically expected completion amount, that is estimate to complete, which is same as ETC. On 5th December, the ETC was 1 crore 11 lakhs 60,000. It means that from 5th December, remaining work will cost us that much, which is under budget. This is the critical ratio, which is actually the CPI times the SPI. So a critical ratio of greater than 1 indicates overall excellent performance. The performance in this case is poor because it is less than 1. So this was the baseline DCWP which was updated on 30th August. So this is how the project actually performed. There are 3 curves in this: the planned value, earned value, and actual cost. So this was a late finished project. Even though it was a late finished project, the schedule variance is equal to 0 in terms of earned value concept. Similarly, the schedule performance index is equal to 1 in terms of earned value concept. So, for the EVM graph for late finished project, there should be certain variance at end for late finished project. So that is the flaw with the earned value concept. The earned value curve, it tends towards the planned value towards the end of the project. So this is the schedule variance in terms of earned schedule concept. So here the project is 22 days delayed in terms of on schedule concept. In terms of schedule variance, we have a variance of minus 1.471. The schedule is actually lagging behind by 44 days than planned duration. This is again the schedule performance index. You have the SPI and the SPIT, which is T means it is the earned schedule concept. So in SPI is showing the ending at 1.0, whereas SPIT is showing a decimal value. So SPI is 1 and SPIT is 0.915, and therefore SPIT is actually giving a true picture. On 15 January, SPI is 0.563. It means that 44% time usage is more than planned duration because it is less than 1. How much time it will take to finish? So independent estimate at completion in terms of earned schedule. So on 5th December, for example, independent estimate at completion is 15.405. It means that if we continue current performance project, will cross the planned duration. Which is 8.47 months. Can I achieve it within planned duration to complete SPI? TSPI less than 1 is equal to task is achievable within planned duration. We have discussed this earlier. On 20th February, the TSPI is 1.915. Since this is more than 1.1, as we discussed earlier, it means that particular task cannot be achieved without planned duration, within the planned duration, if current performance is to continue. And so that is seen that this project did not achieve the planned duration. Will my project be delayed? So this is variance at completion in terms of earned value on schedule. So on 20th February, it's showing a minus 5.971. It means that if we continue with current performance of the project, it will cross the planned duration by almost 6 months, which is 179 days. How much time I have to finish the task? PDWR. On 21st March, PDWR is 4.923. It means that 146 days remain to finish the work. So this is actually a case study where we had tracked these values and we had arrived at a realistic forecast for this project. And on schedule can be a very reliable measure for time to arrive at these kind of forecasts. Actually, time-based schedule measures have been termed as an emerging earned value, EVM practice. it has been already included in the first EVM practice standard and also in the new practice standard which has been published by PMI on earned value methodology. So, in the last EVM version, there was a box that showed the unscheduled concept as an emerging EVM practice. So I would like to basically summarize this presentation by saying that the earned schedule is actually derived from the same earned value data. It doesn't require any additional data. The benefit is that it provides time-based schedule indicators. So the project managers can actually know everything in terms of time and not in terms of cost as given by the earned value methodology. The indicators do not fail for late finish projects, especially towards the last third of the project. This concept is, is scalable up and down, just like the earned value concept. So it's a scalable concept. The schedule prediction is much better than any other earned value method presently used, and the practice has been recognized as an emerging practice in the earned value standard published by PMI. So I would like to conclude by saying that whatever can be done using EVM for cost analysis can also be done using earned schedule for schedule analysis. Earned schedule is a powerful new dimension to integrated project performance management, and it's a breakthrough in theory and application. So it can be used along with earned value to deliver cost as well as time performance monitoring and indicating the final performance. So thank you. Do we have any questions, Vivek?
I have some question, and some I answered which I was knowing, but not couple of them I not. So I request all of us, if they have any question, they can write now. Meanwhile, you can give answer to these questions.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the slide 8 was little difficult to comprehend, which is that. So maybe that was the main concept. So if you can explain the slide.
You want me to switch over to slide 8? Yeah. I'll just switch over to slide 8.
Yeah.
One question, maybe get a copy of the slide deck. I definitely get a copy of the slide deck. What is BCWS, budgeted cost of work schedule? It is the same as planned value. This is a difficult slide. I guess this is slide 8, right?
That's true.
Okay. Okay. You want me to explain this slide again?
Yeah, I think that's what this is the main concept in my opinion, and maybe like I am not sure how much is unfold now in the further slides.
Okay.
So better to just explain.
Yeah, so let me just explain this again. Can you actually see my mouse arrow?
Yes, yes.
You can see the mouse arrow.
Correct.
Okay, now the red curve is basically the performance management baseline, which is our baseline curve, which is the planned value curve. Okay. So in earlier times it was called budgeted cost of work schedule. So that is how it is BCWS. But in terms of our PMI terminology, it is the PV curve, which is a planned value curve. Now as the project progresses, we start measuring the earned value, which is shown by the blue curve. Okay, so that is shown by the blue curve. Now I am measuring the performance at the end of July. If you see the x-axis, it is showing that the project started at beginning of January, and it goes on right up to somewhere in, I guess, October. So I am measuring this project at the end of July, so which is given by the actual time, which is 80. So 80 is end of July, it is 7 months, which is January to July is 7 months. So if you see that box right here, 80 is given by 7 months. Now my earned value at the end of July is basically the tip or the end of this blue curve. Okay, the dashed blue curve. So this is the value of earned value that I have got from my measurements. Now when I horizontally project that point onto the planned value curve, I hit this point. Okay. Now what I do is I project that point onto the time axis, which is the x-axis, and I come to a point which is somewhere in the middle of June. Now the difference between this point and my actual time point, which is the time at which I am measuring the performance, this difference is the earned schedule basically. This is earned schedule, and that is shown by the ES given in this box. So now ES will be January to May, okay, which is 5 months. So that is shown by this figure 5, plus a portion of June. Okay, the small portion of June or half of June, which I see here. Now it may not be exactly half of June, it would be some fraction of June. Now how do I arrive at that fraction? I arrive at that fraction by simple arithmetics. Okay, so this arithmetics is given by the BCWP, which is the planned value. Okay, the planned value here minus the BCWS at the end of May. Okay, so what is the BCWS at the end of May? Okay, so that is divided by budgeted cost of work schedule at June minus budgeted cost of work schedule at end of May. So basically what it is doing is, it is this small portion divided by this big portion. That is what the formula is actually, and that gives this decimal, the decimal part of that month. And so earned value, earned schedule is this 5 months plus this decimal. That is what it shows. So if you plug in just the cost amount here, then you will get this particular decimal, and this adding the two parts of this formula gives the earned schedule. So if this particular point is before the actual time, that means our project is delayed, and if this particular point is ahead of the actual time, then the project is ahead of schedule. For example, let us say this blue curve was actually above the red curve. Say that it was ending somewhere here. Then I would project it horizontally on the right hand side on this red curve and bring the point down. Therefore, my point of measurement would be somewhere here, and the projected point would be somewhere here. And so it would give a positive value for on schedule. Okay. So the variance is basically the earned schedule minus the actual time. So it would give a positive value for if this blue curve was above the red curve. And since the blue curve is below the red curve, that is why it is giving a negative value, because earned schedule is say 5.5 months and actual time is 7 months. In the other case, it could be reverse if it was above the red curve. I hope this is clear basically. Now I'll go on to the next question, which is what is the lowercase svt? When you have t in the bracket, I mentioned to you, it means we are actually talking about unscheduled parameters. If there is a dollar in the bracket, we are talking about earned value parameters. Okay, what is TSPI? TSPI, let me go to that slide. TSPI is basically to complete schedule performance index. What is the performance that is required to complete the balance amount of work which is remaining? So it is to complete schedule performance index. Can you share these PPT slides? Of course I can share them. Vivek already has the slides to share. What about AC in the previous graph? Okay. Which slide are you referring to, Sunita?
Oh, I think that is missed out actually. So not sure at what slide we were at that time.
I think it was slide 32 or 33. Okay,
33.
1 minute. Let me go to that. Okay.
I
See,
think
actually, actual cost will not come into play because I mean this is actually the slide which shows the actual cost. The red curve shows the actual cost, but as all of us know, actual cost doesn't play a role in time management. Therefore, it becomes irrelevant as far as time management is concerned. The 1 minute. How can this be by Shivaram? Calculated using Microsoft Project.
he's checking
As
that.
per my knowledge, we can get SV and CV using Microsoft Project. Yeah. Okay. Since we are not talking about budget, I think I don't have any comment on the cost, but we are just talking about time management here, so I wouldn't comment on that. Where AC was reaching, okay, that was the question. I think for this project, the cost was pretty much under control. It was not, I mean the scope would have increased and so the cost would have increased, but otherwise the original scope would have increased and so the cost would have increased, actual cost. But as far as the revised baseline is concerned, this project was not going too much over budget. It was quite fine. Can you send slide 8 with what the BCAS and BCWP are in the new terms like PV and EV? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll change the terminology to that. No problem. I'll do that. I guess there are no other questions, Vivek.
Yeah, I think one thing. Have you tried this with the MS project or something is possible?
No, I have tried this on MS Project. We are using only MS Project. Of course, some of the data has to be exported to Excel and to draw the curves and all that.
Okay, and we can define some user defined field as well to calculate this, right?
Yeah.
I think it is possible, but some calculation to be done, or some new fields may need to be inserted.
Okay. But if for this project we had basically used Excel. We used to export from MS. project, and then we would evaluate it on Excel.
Okay. So let's check if we have any other question.
No, I don't think there are any other questions. I think that's all. So if you need more information, you can actually go to this website, onschedule.com. I think that would give you very good information. In fact, some of these, I think even this particular presentation was put on that on this particular website, and onschedule.com also has some Excel-based tools that you can use to implement the on-schedule concept. So kindly visit onschedule.com. You would get a lot of clarification, further clarification and details on that particular website. And also in the PMI library, there is a book on schedule that you can actually order from there. So it's a wonderful book. It clearly explains the concept. Thanks, Joe, for that comment on my presentation. I think I'm done, Vivek. Thank you all for being on this presentation and sparing your time to attend this. I really enjoyed presenting this to you, and I hope all of you have really understood that one slide number 8, which is the core of that on schedule concept. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Tejas, for sharing this knowledge and coming over here, taking out time. And thanks to all the participants also for taking out time and joining here this webinar. Hope you have got the knowledge for which you invested this time. We will send you an email which you can use to claim your PDUs and a link to provide the feedback. So in the email, the email you can use to for confirmation for your this attending this webinar, and there will be a link to provide the feedback. So I request you all to please provide the feedback. And as soon as you submit the feedback, you will be navigated to a page which has a link to download the presentation. So you just submit the feedback form, and then you will get a link which you can download the this presentation. Okay, thank you very much once again to all, and thank you very much, Tejas, for coming over here. Thank you.
Welcome.